Hi, my name is Robert. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. Today's the big day to get this head finished and get this car on the road so we can get it registered and delivered. Hopefully leave town tomorrow with it. Before I do that, I'm going to paint some of my tensioner tools. There's a couple of people wanting those, and I thought I had some painted, but I don't. So let me get those out and get them painted. I have 10 of these tensioners painted, so while they dry, within an hour I'm going to put a second coat on them, and that'll have to do it. So let me go over here and set these head bolts in place, start tightening those down. I have everything in place as far as torquing the head down. I just need to oil the bolt threads. I've been across the head twice, 15 foot-pounds, 44 foot-pounds. Now I'm going to hit the angle gear, the degrees, and do a 130 degrees on all of these bolts. Then I'll be ready to put the exhaust manifold bolts in and move on from there. I have the head torqued on. I'm going to check my instructions, but I think I'm going to attach the exhaust manifold without the cover on before I do the cover. So I'm going to lay something over the head, lay on top of the engine, and attach my exhaust manifold bolts, torque those down, and then I'll put the cam cover on. This morning we're starting off with Peaches. It has been taken to 2 mechanics for 1 buyer. And a couple things they found was the door unlocking mechanism on the passenger front door was weak. They claimed the one on the driver's rear was weak, but it has never failed to unlock for me, so I'm not doing anything about that. And these license plate light bulbs are supposed to be burned out, so I'm going to replace those or test those. And it has a rear main seal leak. I think it's minor. Sometime I'll park and not see it drop. Sometime I'll see it drop. So her and her husband feel comfortable with that. So they're going to go ahead and purchase it, hopefully within the next hour or two. And I'll stand behind that rear main seal for a few months and just go from there. So I pulled that latch open and I put a piece of aluminum in there because I couldn't find my copper. And now I'm going to put that back together, replace a vacuum line, a couple of light bulbs, load the tires from Cherry over here in the back, and give them a call, let them know it's ready. I've replaced the deteriorated vacuum line with some silicone hosing. Now I need to take these light bulbs off and test them. They look like T10s. So let me pull these lenses off, see what's going on with these light bulbs. You get a T10 torque driver, put it in there, and remove these 2 screws. It's a little bit hard for me to get them started. So anyway, let me go ahead and pull these 2 screws out. Once the screws are out, you put something in one of these holes here. You tilt the lens out and work it off. It's on 2 rubber stops. Then you grab the bulb and it simply pulls out of the socket that it's in. No twisting or nothing. Let me use my other hand here. Now that's the bulb that's in the license plate location. It's looks like 5-watt 37R bulb. It is the same, possibly the same bulb that's in your open door red lights and behind your instrument cluster. Next you plug the new bulb in, set the covers in place, screw them back on, and you're all done. Okay, so I have both license plate lights working and shining bright. The people that are buying Peaches said they did want the tires that were mounted on Cherry, so I'm pulling these wheels off. I'm going to let them take them, get the tires swapped over, then bring me my wheels back. I just so happened to got a call today from someone that was stuck in their garage because power was out through their community and they didn't have any way to get out of the garage and get to work. Quick and easy way to get out of your garage if you're stuck in there with no power is you come to the back of the garage where the door is and you'll find a handle. Sometimes it's a T-handle, sometimes it's a string. At any rate, it's like this. It's got a little handle on it, and you grab this handle and pull down on it, and it releases the garage door from the track assembly. So, as you can see here, if there was no power to the garage door, you couldn't get it up by lifting up on it. But if you grab this handle and pull down on it, it'll release that lever up there, and that releases the garage door. Now you can easily lift the garage door up and get out of it. So there you are, free to go to work. Now there is a catch. Once you get your vehicle out of the garage, how do you get the garage door back down and secure? Well, chances are lowering the door back down will not secure it. So you'll have an unsecured garage, because a lot of times these latches don't latch when you let the door back down. As you can see from this mechanism here, the door is still in the release position. To get the door back to where it'll grab a hold to the track, you have to grab the handle and pull it back normally so that you can get the latch to re-engage to the track assembly. Now, it may or may not re-engage, but what we have to do is lower the door and see if it grabs a hold of the track assembly, or if it just doesn't go down far enough to lock in place. Because when you pull to release that latch, this arm jumped back about an inch, and sometimes you can't get it to re-engage on the assembly that rides this mechanism. So now, assuming we still do not have power, we're going to lower the door. In a lot of cases, what you can do is, once you get power, you can cycle the button to raise or lower the door, and it will catch the track assembly. So let's lower it and see if it latches the door locked. Okay, we're coming down. It's a little bit tough coming down, but it is coming. You pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. Down, down. Down, 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 down. Okay, now the door is down as far as I could get it. Let's see if it locked down. And this one did go down far enough to lock in place. So you can go ahead to work knowing that your garage door is locked in place. If for some reason you couldn't lower the door enough to lock it in place, that is when you use your manual locking mechanism to lock your doors. Hopefully your manual locking mechanism is still in function and you can simply turn this knob and lock your garage door, and it appears that this one has been deactivated, so you can't lock your garage door manually once you lose power. If that's the case, you may want to find another way to lock your door down. Like if you look in your tracks, you'll see that there are some holes in different locations. You could put a screwdriver or something like that in that location to lock your door so that nobody can lift it up and come into your home while you're away. Now, if for some reason you have to lock your door manually with some kind of something in the track or with your handle, I strongly recommend that you get up to the motor and you unplug the motor from the ceiling, because you don't want to go to work, come back home, and forget that this door is manually locked. Operate your electric door opener and probably destroy your garage door. So if you lock it manually, make sure that you unplug it so that it won't function with your opener. And once your power's back on and everything's hooked back up, you have no manual locks on, make sure your opener's plugged in and function your garage door either with the opener or with the button on the wall to make sure that it functions properly and you can continue on with life as normal. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them below. Starting off the day here at the donor vehicle and going to get this thing running. And if there's a way to get it registered today, which is Saturday, I'm going to do that and try to get this car delivered this weekend. So let's see how it goes. I put some oil on top of the valves, and I also put the hydraulic lifters in place. So hopefully they're not dry. I normally have those lifters immersed in oil. For some reason this time I did not. So I should have done that. Next I'm going to put some grease in these journals and lube paths that the cams are going to sit on. Then I'm going to clean the surface of the head with acetone. Make sure it's clean and dry. Then I'm going to set the cams in place and finish preparing the cam cover. Now the cam cover has been bouncing around in the car. Somehow I put a scratch on the cam cover there. Yeah, I guess you can see it a little bit. Not really concerned with mars or scratches on it. That's what the sealant will seal up. I cleaned the top off. It still has some residue from the machine shop's filthy vat, I guess. But I'm not going to spend time trying to get all that stuff clean. I just got to make sure that this mating surface is pretty much spotless. Get it dried off and all the water dried on it, and then clean it with acetone and spread the anaerobic sealant on it. Set it in place and start torquing it down. Alright, I lubed the journals in the head with grease. I cleaned off and lubricated the lobes on the cam shafts. I have the cam seal set in place, so when I set the cam cover on, those should be where they need to be, front and back. It's real important to grease these lobes a little bit. I'm sure they have some special lubrication to use, but I just use general purpose grease, because that has to stay lubricated until the head pumps the oil up there and begins to lubricate them with oil. I did put a little bit of oil in the head. I've actually seen one of these heads where somebody failed to do that, and when they started the car, the cams actually grabbed the aluminum in the head and twisted it and brought it to a screeching halt, destroyed the head and all the work that they did. I have a little bit of grease in the tracks of the cams on this. I have it cleaned off with acetone, so now I'm going to get the anaerobic sealant, roll it on there, set it in place, and start tightening that down. I'm going to get the spark plug well seals and set them in place, then work on getting that cam cover on. I'm going to double check the crank before I set this on, make sure the crank is in time, because you want to make sure that these cams are in the general location that they should be in before you put that cover on. And if the crank is on time, really doesn't matter, because you could turn those cams around 360 degrees without any valve to piston contact. This is the anaerobic sealant that I use. It's a Permatech product. That's the part number. Spread it out in some kind of plastic pan. I get those, used to get those from Walmart. I think they're going to quit carrying them. Have a yellow roller that's sponge so it shouldn't leave any lint. Then I come over to my cam cover and I'm going to roll it out over here like paint, and I'm going to be careful not to clog these small passages there. I'm going to kind of put less in those areas. I don't want to clog those, because those are responsible for getting oil on the back of your cam seals and keeping those lubricated. I also ran a drill bit down these holes, because they go all the way down through into those oil passages and channels to keep the cams lubricated while it turns in the head. So you want to make sure those are clear on the head and on the cover. And let me go ahead and get this anaerobic sealant spread. Now this anaerobic sealant does not dry when it's exposed to air, so there's no rushing this process. Take your time, get it spread out, and do it right. I'm all done spreading it out on the cam cover. You don't need to put it on the head, just one surface. So that's how it looks, all covered up. Really, this head, this cam cover will just about seal the oil in without any sealant. This just kind of helps it a little bit. Like I said, you don't put too much up on this end where these small passages are. Maybe some will ooze out, maybe it won't, but I'm gonna go ahead and set it in place and set the screws in. I don't use a cam cover drawdown tool, so I draw it down with the screws. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm gonna check my website notes to make sure I tighten it down in a particular fashion. I believe I go from the inside out. Alright, I have the cam cover torqued down, double check, triple check. Now I need to get the heat shield on the back, get the intake manifold installed, then work on my timing. I got the heat shield on, the intake manifold on, the fuel lines connected, some of the vacuum connected, and a few other things. So I'm going to go ahead and take a lunch break. I did get insurance activated on the vehicle, and hopefully an hour from now I'll be able to start the vehicle and drive it. However, I did somehow lose a spark plug, brand new spark plug. I have no idea where it is, so I need to find that and get it installed in this vehicle. The neighbor that is using my blue car, my 740, asked me if they could take the vehicle out of town. I told them I don't care, just don't run out of gas and check the oil. They've had the car for probably about a month and a half, almost 2 months, and I just found out that they have not been checking the oil. I just think that's, absurd for somebody to be kind enough to let you use your vehicle and you're not even checking the oil in it. Man, if you let somebody borrow your vehicle, make sure they're checking the oil. And by all means, if you're borrowing somebody's vehicle, please check the oil so you don't destroy it, especially on a 25-year-old car. That's just unheard of. Not under any kind of warranty. Least you could do is check the oil and keep gas in it. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.